let's not act like making a character black doesn't change the entire story, because it does. Like, if we're gonna go black, let's take it there. Like, ooh, sorry y'all if it looks like I've been crying. I have, man, before, wow, the sun is really getting me. Before filming, I was like, okay, I'm ready. But then I was like, no, let me put my contacts in because, yeah, I'm fighting for my life. I was like, let me put my contacts in because it just makes more sense. I'm going to be slinging around some hair products. But then I was like, but then basically with this eye, something is going on. Like, I don't know what it is. This is day one of my brand new contacts. So I have no idea. This is like, this is not typical. Usually on the first day, that is when, you know, your eyes feel the best with the contacts in. But that is not the case today. And I have no idea why. Hoping that it'll get better. If it doesn't, these might just be a trash pair, which sucks. It's like some money down the drain. But anyways, that's not what you're here for. Today, I'm going to do something that I have never done before, but I've been wanting to do, which is combining my beauty world with the book nerdy world, okay? I'm going to be doing my hair. I'm going to be refreshing my curls, okay? So this is my hair right now. I mean, it still like looks good, to be honest with you, but this is not, it's a little bit gummy and just kind of flat, and I just don't like that. So we are going to, this is actually my first time ever using this spray bottle. And I actually really like it. It's like the I'm like the only girly who has, the only curly girly who has never used this spray bottle before. But yeah, I actually lost my spray bottles. It's honestly, it's very cool watching curly hair come to life when the water hits it. As you can see, look, we're already getting it kind of stretched out. And yeah, just kind of, so like this is gonna be kind of a tutorial, but like kind of not, because I'm gonna be talking about something else. But I can't really talk and really get into it during this step because I need it to be, you know. But whoa, I love this spray bottle. Like, this is so cool. This is the Tangle Teaser. I know everything's backwards. But yeah, this is the Tangle Teaser spray bottle that literally everyone has but me. I even think my own sister has it, and I just been using like the cheap ones from HEB that really should probably hold cleaning products. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, when your bangs are so long that you can barely see, I think that's when you yeah, I think that's when it might be time. So, yeah. Maybe? Does it need to be any more wet? I low-key think this is good enough. But anyways, y'all, we're gonna be talking about a very important topic today, at least for me, and that is Black representation in books and movies and shows and all of it, and whether it matters or whether we as in the Black community are just angry about stuff that doesn't matter. If you see me looking over here, I have my mirror in my window. I've actually been doing my makeup right here. As you can see, the lighting is phenomenal. This is where I obviously film all my YouTube videos, but the lighting is so, but I usually do my makeup in my bathroom because obviously it's the bathroom. And you know, there's no like mirror here that faces this way, but I just brought a little mirror so that I can look, and I love it. I absolutely love this setup. Okay, I think this might be good. I actually am obsessed with this because my usual spray bottle, like, look at this, y'all. The reason why it's so shiny is because of the, literally sprayed myself directly in the face. But yeah, this is my usual spray bottle. Usually is not like misty like this. It's usually like like I said, it shoots out like a Windex bottle. And I don't like that. But anyways, y'all, I am just overdoing it at this point. I think we're good. I usually get it to where it's like not really dripping, but like close to dripping. Like if you run your fingers through it. Okay. So anyways, just gonna go ahead. Oh, the gel I'm using, like I said, I'm sorry everything's backwards. Gonna include a picture. It is the Aunt Jackie's Flaxseed Recipes Don't Shrink. If you are anywhere in the hair community, you have probably already heard of this gel. But yeah, obviously this one is empty. But we're gonna just kind of just see what it's hitting for in the mirror. Like sometimes when you apply the gel, you're gonna be like, okay, like, do I add more product or do I add more water? You know, you will be able to know, trust me, whether you need to add more product, add more water. I actually have not used this gel in a very, very long time. It, like, the smell is just bringing back memories because this is the first gel that I ever used. This with Uncle Funky's Daughter was my combo. Now my combo is Uncle Funky's Daughter plus Innersense. Innersense and Aunt Jackie's both act as the topper gel, whereas Uncle Funky's Daughter is the base gel. So yeah, this will not be the one and only time. Oh yeah, see, it's already doing something. Oh my gosh. But anyways, y'all, let's talk. So blackness. Let me first talk about like when was the first time that y'all like saw, if you're a black reader watching this, or even if not, when was the first time that y'all saw like blackness represented in books and media? Because I say probably the first time I ever saw it, and I think this was intentional by my mother, was in this series called The Sugar Plum Ballerinas. I think that's what they were called. And they were obviously a group of ballerinas who were little black girls. And it was just so cool. It was so cool. They like had some like drama or something. Like I really can't even remember because these are obviously very, very like old books I don't read anymore. But yeah, and then she had gotten me this book by, I think it was by Sherry Winston. And it was called President of the Whole Fifth Grade. Ooh, look at that, y'all. Anyways, it was called President of the Whole Fifth Grade. And it was like so incredibly cute. And yeah, if you're wondering what else I have down here, I just have a bunch of clips. So these type of clips you can get at the beauty supply, probably HEB chat, I don't even know. But anyways, yeah, it was called President of the Whole Fifth Grade. Oh yeah, y'all, I'm loving this spray bottle. I am absolutely eating this up. Yes! Yes! This is what I've been missing. I think this is going to change my hair routine again. Y'all, I have been natural for 4 years. I know, right? That's it. I've been natural for 4 years. And my, like, your relationship with your natural hair is going to change. Your routine is going to change. Everything is going to change. So just be aware of that. Like, my routine is definitely about to change. There might be some days where I don't feel like doing the whole routine, but I can, you know, do this part. Anyways, yeah, President of the Whole Fifth Grade. Then after that, didn't really read any black literature. This is about 5th grade, obviously. And until I read Percy Jackson in, and I know what you're thinking, girl, where are the black people in Percy Jackson? Just wait for it. Yeah, until, this is actually cool because I lean forward actually to look in the mirror, but it's actually giving you, a close-up of my hair, which is really, really cool. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, like that flicking motion, it's just to kind of get the excess product off. Like, one misconception is that, I don't consider that to be finger coiling. Because I mean, trust me, if your hair is not naturally curly, this is not going to curl your hair. Yeah, but anyways, yeah. So there's a spin-off Percy Jackson series called the Heroes of Olympus, which is really, really good and underrated. I feel like I haven't read that one as much as the original series. I actually don't think I've ever reread the entire series. I reread Mark of Athena and House of Hades, but I've never reread the other ones. Which, you know what, I think I did reread The Son of Neptune, actually, just because it's all about Percy, of course. But, yeah, Hazel in that series. Hazel, she is the daughter of Hades, I think. Yeah, she's the daughter of Hades. And, yeah, she was, like, probably the first black girl that I read about in, like, a popular fantasy series. And that was big to me because I was just like, she's a black girl. Like, she low-key could look like me. I mean, at the time, I did have a relaxer. If y'all don't know what a relaxer is, it's what causes a curly-headed person's hair to look like this. But, yeah. This is really testing how well I can multitask, y'all. I don't know where the speaker is. I don't know if y'all can hear all that. But, yeah. But I was just like, wow. Like, and I know she had big curly hair. And that's kind of another thing I want to talk about is that there always seems to be, whenever we do finally get a black character, they always have, like, the same look. Like, I haven't read Legendborn, but I do own the book. It's on my bookshelf, actually, outside this door. And I noticed that the character on the front, who I'm assuming is the main character, has the same look that all the other characters have. Like on This Wicked Fate, this, you know, the big curly hair. Cinderella is Dead. I know it's the same author, but Cinderella is Dead. Big curly hair. Hazel, her name was what, Underwood or something? Hazel Underwood? No, Grover Underwood. I don't know what Hazel's last name is, y'all. But anyways, Hazel from the Percy Jackson series. You know, I'm pretty sure she is described as having big curly hair. If she is not, then I sincerely apologize. I just rudely made that assumption. I'm so sorry, Mr. Riordan. I love Rick Riordan, guys. But, you know, I often notice, though, that they tend to have, like, a similar kind of look. Y'all, I might have to go back to using this gel. I don't know. I just like the ease that goes on, and it's also cheaper, y'all. The Inner that usually is my topper gel is $26 versus this Aunt Jackie's is $6. So, yeah. So I would suggest starting off with this gel because you need to get to know your hair before you lock in with some expensive products. But anyways, yeah, I tend to do the front last. Like, this is just a refresh. This is not, because I'm literally going to wash my hair tomorrow. Like, I gotta keep that in mind. I'm literally going to wash my hair tomorrow. So this is nothing, like, too crazy or anything. But, yeah. But anyways, and then it seems like, oh, not me dropping glob of gel on the ground. This is why I don't do my hair in here. But anyways, yeah, it seems like with black characters, either we have the huge natural hair or maybe like we're like bald, like on some Wakanda Forever type stuff. And like, I mean, that's okay. It's just interesting it's just interesting to see. And, yeah, there's such a variety. I think it's hard. And I'm not saying these are bad things. So I don't want y'all to be thinking, oh my God, she's complaining, whatever. No. I just think that I just pay close attention to these details. And as a black woman, there is a wasp right outside the window. This is crazy. He wants to join the conversation. But anyways, as a black woman who does have natural hair, I think it is interesting to see how it is portrayed in the media. So I'm just kind of talking about it in a neutral way, not really saying whether I like it or don't like it, just kind of pointing some things out. Like, for example, in a lot of the books, like especially like black romances, when the woman is doing her hair or whatever, it's like she gets in the shower and wets her hair and puts it into a bun. Like, girl, what? I mean, okay, to a certain extent, can I do that? Yes. But, like, also, no. Like, there's typically some planning that goes on and some planning and some manipulation, maneuveration. It just seems very, like, easy. And I think maybe even we could approach it from the perspective that maybe that's intentional. Like, maybe we don't want, and it depends on who the author is, right? These are Black authors that I'm discussing. Besides Rick Riordan. But Rick Riordan, in Hazel's perspective, she is typically not talking about doing her hair, considering they're saving the world. But anyways, yeah, like in Black romances, they'll just be like, oh yeah, she had her hair slicked back, and I don't know, it just seems very much like the hair care part is very easy and simple, and I get it, that's not what the book is about at all. Like, it's not, I'm fully aware of that, but it all just, and it's also a romance novel, so arguably everything is unrealistic, the fact that it's a romance novel. But yeah, it is just interesting how, like, the hair part is very much reduced, and like, oh yeah, she just did this and her hair was in perfect condition. What I did really enjoy when I read This Wicked Fate, nope, not This Wicked Fate, when I read This Poison Heart, I really enjoyed, actually, it mentioned that she was looking up hair tutorials. Yeah, it actually mentioned that she was looking up hair tutorials on YouTube, and, you know, I was like, okay, like, that's super cool, like, that makes sense. I mean, you know, I had never, ever read that in a book, ever, and I just thought it was really, really cool that I was getting to see that in a book. You know, the thing is that as much as we want to pretend like hair is not a big deal and we can just be placed in any movie, in any setting, in any whatever, that's just not true. Like, that's why it's like an ongoing joke that, like, whenever it's time for vacation, Black women get braids. Like, that's very, like, it's very, like, telling. But, like, I guess it's kind of like Bridgerton. Like, we all know that Black people were not treated like the Duke in season 1. Okay, we all know that considering the time period, Black people and just people of color would not be treated like how they were treated in Bridgerton. So, you know, I can suspend my beliefs, I can suspend my reality in favor of, you know, a more peaceful one. But I just find that interesting. I also think that, I also think that that's why a lot of people are not big fans of race swapping when it comes to adaptations. Like The Little Mermaid, for example. Of course, you know, I had to bring that up. For example, The Little Mermaid. Like, of course, people are like, oh, well, you know, The Little Mermaid, like, she didn't have locks. Like, she didn't have locks. And it's like, well, she also mermaids are not real. So, you know, like, there's very much, like, there's an area where I'm just like, okay, like, I get it. And then there's an area where I'm just like, you know, yeah, kind of like, and I mean, that one's different because she's underwater. Who even cares what her hair looks like? Who even cares? Halle Bailey was born to play that role. She bodied it. That movie was like my whole personality at this time 2 years ago. Oh yeah, that movie was my whole personality. Yeah. But okay, are we cooking something up right now, or is this a side salad? I think so. But yeah, it's probably hard to see, y'all. You're probably like, what the heck is even going on? But yeah, now I am sectioning off the back. Hopefully that wasn't me just tearing a chunk of my hair out. And then Oh, should have added the water first. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. But anyways, yeah, y'all, I am just like, I have not used this gel, I want to say, in like years. Like, I really want to say and tell you right now that I have not used this gel in a long time, and I forgot how reliable it is. Like, the reason I stopped using it was not because it was bad or anything. Yeah, it's not because it was bad or anything. It was just that Inner Sense is a better quality. You know, it's like a salon brand. So yeah, it's better quality, and my sister was using it, so I was like, well, might as well use it too. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, anyways, y'all. And like, another thing I was thinking about was like Annabeth in Percy Jackson. Like, we all know, if you watch the Percy Jackson series, she was cast as a little black girl, which she is so cute, so amazing, and I love her. I love her in the role. I think she embodies Annabeth really, really well. I think that, I mean, especially for the first, I mean, we've only had the first book. In the first book, Annabeth was not really the warm, cuddly creature. Well, she's never really been a warm, cuddly creature, but she is not the Annabeth that we know right now. Like, that up to date. Like, the Annabeth that's in the current Percy Jackson series, I was about to say Harry Potter. The Annabeth in the current Percy Jackson series, she is very much like soft and like loving on Percy. That is, if we remember, if we recall, that is not how we started off, because, you know, Annabeth has some boundaries up. She's kind of a grumpy grape sometimes. And yeah, she doesn't see completely the value in Percy yet, at least, you know, and at the beginning of this season. That might raise the question where it's like, okay, they're on the run. And I know, I'm very aware that this stuff does not matter. But I'm just like, okay, they're on the run. And I'm like, girl, as a black girl, you know, I see why they gave her braids. Because realistically, she would have to be redoing that hair. Like, she would have to be doing what I'm doing right now. Like, and how is she going to do that when they're on the run? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think that it's, you know, it's really, like, doesn't matter. But it also makes me think about how, like, most stories are written for people who are not black. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, we know that, like, I know realistically, like, whenever I do read a book and they mention, you know, a curly girl and she's just doing this and that and she's living free, and and it's not that I'm not living free, but it's like, there are ways that I want my hair to look. Like today, for example, I'm going to my cousin's graduation party, and I'm just like, I didn't want my hair to look like how it did in the beginning. Like, I just didn't. Like, and I'm just like, if I were on the run, my hair would most likely be in a very crusty bun if I didn't, because, like, I don't have the products. I probably don't have good, clean water to be washing my hair with. My hair gets so tangled that, like, I can't just use I can finger detangle, but that will take a while. Like, I don't know if y'all can see and tell, like, your girl's got some hairs on her. Like, I have some hairs on this head, and I know that, you know, I need my Felicia Leatherwood. Like, hello, like, I need my Felicia Leatherwood, and, yeah, like, it doesn't make sense when we try to ignore, like, this isn't realistic for black people. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me, but, like, I'm okay with suspending our belief, especially when it's in a story that is fiction. Like, Percy Jackson, like, you could say anything. Well, monsters aren't real. So if monsters aren't real, then yeah, we can just assume that, if monsters aren't real, then we can just assume that there's a lot of unrealistic stuff in the story. But it's kind of like, the black experience always has to be kind of watered down, I feel, to make us kind of fit in. like in Bridgerton. I mean, like in Bridgerton, I don't necessarily want to watch, you know, a story about oppressed black people. Like, I really don't. So I'm happy with Bridgerton. I really am. Like, I know there's some people, like, I have a coworker, she is not the biggest fan of, like, the fact that they are pretending like that's how black people, I mean, the thing is that they never even said that this was true history. I mean, none of this ever happened. There's no Lady Whistledown, there's no Duke of whatever the heck his name was, there are no Bridgertons, period. So, you know, it is a made up story. So, like, you know, we can kind of do whatever we want. But I do understand that perspective where it's like, why would you even want to watch something where a black person's life has to be, like, the black experience has to be basically reformulated, remodeled to fit a narrative that we originally weren't a part of, is basically what I'm saying. Because, yeah, like, when a story is written by a white person, like The Little Mermaid, like Percy Jackson, when the story is written by a white person and there were not originally black people written in, to just, whenever it comes to the screen adaptation, to just add a black person in, sometimes it just doesn't feel as genuine. Like, it's kind of like a, hey, we added a black person to kind of show that anyone can whatever, but it's still a black person playing a role intended by a white character. Because if all of this stuff were real, you follow me? I feel like I'm finally getting somewhere. If all of this stuff were real, like, Annabeth, unfortunately, if her character were actually black, she probably would have faced probably some racism at some point in her life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, or like something about her hair. Like, how does she do her hair at camp? Like, how does she do her hair at camp? Like, we have to be true to, like, if we're gonna go black, let's take it there. Like, let's take it there. Like, how does she do her hair at camp? Like, actually make her a black girl. Like Annabeth is a black girl rather than we've cast a black girl to play Annabeth. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are two different things. So that's why I'm not even the person who's always like, we need a black girl to play whatever. We needed something. Because I'm just like, do we really? Because I'm just like, it's just gonna be like putting a band-aid on I don't know, like, it's kind of like we're doing something to fill a quota instead of actually, because we know, like, they're not going to rewrite the character's experience to make it add up with the black experience, because who has the time for that? Who wants to do that? We want to keep the original. Is it raining? Wow, it's raining and the sun's out. We want to keep the original material, right? But we've made the character black now. Like, let's not act like making a character black doesn't change the entire story, because it does. The black experience has never and will never be similar to that of a white person's. Even if you grew up around only white people, like, there will come a point in your life where you realize that you are black. And you're like, oh, my life is different. My experiences were different. This world, especially this country, is not without prejudice and bias and race. Like, it's not without that stuff. So, I don't know. That's my thing. It's just kind of like, let's stop just kind of adding black people in there. And let's just either rewrite the characters as black people or just create new stories with black characters. I think that's what people are leaning more towards, like Ladarion Williams and stuff. And I personally need to hold myself accountable, because I have not read a lot of black fantasy, because I haven't been in the mood to read. If you've been watching this channel consistently, you know I have not been in the mood to read fantasy, like, at all. So yeah, but there is. I thought there was a bug on the ground. There is black fantasy available that tells about the black experience. So that's why I think we need to put more of a focus on that instead of wishing that black people were cast in these adaptations of these white films. Like I said, I loved The Little Mermaid. I loved it. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was amazing. It was amazing to see a black girl play that role, but not just because it was any black girl, but because it was Halle Bailey. She's extremely talented. But it was amazing. Love that for her. Love her down. But I feel like we gotta stop crying out for black people to be thrust into these adaptations and just write and focus on creating or focus on reading black stories where black people were originally intended for the role. But anyways, y'all, that was me yappadooling about blackness in literature and media. I hope you enjoyed. I did not think I could multitask, talk and do my hair at the same time. To be honest with you, I've never done this before. Well, usually when I do this part of my hair routine, I'm watching like a movie or something. Not that it takes that long, child, that I can watch a whole movie, but I'm usually just watching something that's rather lengthy. But yeah, I'm glad that y'all stayed with me and watched me do my hair. And yeah, there will be more talk videos. I want to do a makeup one. That one might be harder because, you know, I need my face involved to talk. But yeah, I want to do a makeup one, and I want to do more of these. Just need to figure out what topics. But yeah, y'all, this was Liv Loves Literature talking about the black experience in white adaptations. And I will see you next time in a new video. Bye. Alright, y'all, I wanted to come back and show you the finished product, of course, because, hello, what's even the point of watching the video? But anyways, here's the finished product. Sorry the lighting is probably really bad at this point because the sun has gone away. The sun has gone away. It is raining. Typically, when I first get done doing my hair, my bangs are extremely long, as you can see. So I typically just kind of put them to the side. But, yeah, here is the, hopefully y'all saw that. Here is the finished product of, you know, kind of what I was looking for. Like, I just wanted some more volume and some more, like, something. Like, my hair was very stiff and very small, and I didn't like that. So, yeah. Anyways.